Okay, now we're a bit more in depth into this suspension. The good news is this suspension isn't in that bad order, but basically what Kato's done is he's stripped down each individual shim stack to each individual part, just so I can go through them with a technical manner. Some customers won't really be that interested, but I'm going to go into it anyway. Here we have a rebound rod. This usually has a shim stack on the end of it, but right now the shim stack's been removed. This has one of these that sits on top of here. This usually has shims below it and on top of it. On this certain system, it actually has a separate rebound shim system and a compression system, but all in the same fork. Some forks have rebound in one fork and other forks have it in compression in the other. That's just how, whatever they decide is the right way to do it. Anyway, what you have here is a lot of different shims. They're all different sizes. Basically, when we take these apart, we're looking for wear in the shims, problems. Basically, many things can cause these shims to wear out. As you can see, Kato's already gone ahead and changed these shims. These last two shims are the common ones to be worn out. Basically, he's already swapped them out. I don't know if we got the old shim here. Yeah. I don't know if the camera will pick up the wear on it, but if you could see from this shim here, it's quite worn. This is part of the one-way valve system inside a fork. Basically, this rod goes down through your fork. As it goes down through your fork, it pushes oil downwards. That then goes over this item here. This item here has lots of different size valves inside, you could call them. The oil comes over these and around. When it goes in reverse, they go around this and up through and press on the shims. Depending on what shim stack you have, depending on what size shims, width, diameter, size, doesn't matter. That changes the characteristics of the suspension. You don't need to worry about that. We have K-Tech that supply us with shim settings for different situations, different riding conditions, different uses, it doesn't matter. We tend to not go away too far from original unless the customer requests it. We can do everything from custom stacks to what they recommend, to different valving, different sizes, it doesn't really matter. What we do is we go through every single shim, we check every shim for wear, we check every single item for wear, we clean up these if they have any burrs inside or anything. But that's basically what it is. This is the part that people often don't look at, they don't even look inside. Even the workshop manual doesn't talk about this. To give you an idea of how many different shims there are in bikes, we have every single shim you can imagine for every single bike. We've got most sizes in stock. What we don't have can be ordered. We've already gone ahead now and we've swapped these shims for the ones that are worn out, as we showed you. And it basically just boils down to a service. This is what we consider a service inside a fork. This is the part that affects the control and the mechanism of the fork internally. This is the part that often just a quick service on it, or not very quick entirely, will transform the suspension. This suspension's not that bad. It's obviously had regular oil changes, it's obviously had quite a nice life during its time because we've only found one shim needs changing. Basically what Kato's going to do now is he's going to put this all back together, he's going to bleed up the system, and the next video will show us bleeding the system. Basically that's it. That is what's inside your fork. So when we talk about shimming, this is the shims, then you've got the little shuttle here, or what, I'm not really sure of the valve, a valve I guess you would call it. This is what affects the oil flow depending on what shims you run around that assembly. There you go. I hope that made sense. If you've got any questions, please just post below, tell me what you want to know. But this is a very basic fork system. Many people would never go in here. Many people would not even consider looking here. But every single fork that comes in here, every single shop that comes in it, we inspect every single item. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Just post below and just like, share, do whatever you have to do to get our likes up, because we want people to understand suspension better so we can basically advise you in the best way possible. Thank you for listening.